What is good? Oh, a little fresh crack to start the episode. How we doing, Chev?
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been knee deep in this Afro Man trial thing where the sheriff's department is suing him for making too funny memes. So like we could talk about that. I think we should probably talk about the Waddle trade first, but we can talk about that too if you want.
I didn't know about this Afro Man trial, so I'm gonna have to check this out.
Brother, it has had me in a choke. Like I probably snort laughed 3 times just catching up on all the hoopla and nonsense.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna have to zoom in on that a little bit.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
All right. I love it. I got a couple people in the chat. What's up, boys? Obviously, we had some big news happen since yesterday. We had some Jaylen Waddle traded for a lot. A 1, a 3, and a 4, I believe, is what the compensation was. So it seems like a decent amount for the Denver Broncos to give up. It seemed like one of those things where Waddle had been rumored to be traded, but like, I don't know if they necessarily wanted to. They just brought in Willis, and then the things got escalated, and all of a sudden, Denver just put their wiener on the table and was like, "All right, here you go. We're gonna need that. We're gonna need Waddle."
Yeah.
So that happened. Now they're saying, "Hey, Achan's not for sale," but let's be real. Everybody's for sale at this point. I would assume for the Miami Dolphins. So Big Co is down there. I don't know. He can join in here. You ready to go, Big Co?
Yeah.
All right. Got the trifecta in here. Ready to roll.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We're a couple days off. We recorded on Austin 316's fan. So our Austin 316 day a couple days ago. So that was pretty exciting. Your average OG, what's good? Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody who's in the chat joining us live, but we're going to kick this one off talking about Jaylen Waddle. So goes over to the Denver Broncos, and we'll talk about that side, and then we'll jump over to the Miami side. We'll talk about where we kind of view Waddle right now, if this moved him up, moved him down, kept it the same for you. So just in general, Denver paying up all that capital has to make you, at least it makes me feel like, hey, we needed a Jaylen Waddle. We got a Jaylen Waddle, and we're about to use Jaylen Waddle. Or was this just a bad move by Denver? What do you think, Chev?
I think it's a good move. It's a great move by Denver because you consolidate all the targets you're going to have to waste on Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims, and you give them to a player who could do all that stuff, but also do all of the receiver stuff. So you might hear me. I will no longer be a Waddle denier. I'm not gonna continue down that path. I feel like that's a path of destruction. I feel like very easily now Bo Nix could have 2,000-yard receivers, and Waddle could get back into the top 15 from a perspective of just being, productive for fantasy. Because that's my biggest issue is the idea of Waddle has been cooler than Waddle has actually been for your fantasy teams for a few years now.
Yeah, right now on the FFDynasty.com, he's coming in superflex set and premium at wide receiver 84, player 84, wide receiver 29. So Big Co, what was your initial thoughts here on the Jaylen Waddle trade to Denver? Sean Payton gets himself a new toy, which he clearly really wanted.
Yeah, like you said, compensation shows it. I think for the most part, it's the Broncos going all in, as much as you can call it going all in. You trade away their first and bring in a receiver, and I don't know if I'm like super excited for Waddle's fantasy output, but maybe Peyton just goes, hey, I gave up all this and I'm going to, but that's what we've been saying about everything Peyton's done. He drafted R.J. Harvey in the second and Pat Bryant in the third. So that's pretty, valuable pieces that he's, picks that he spent on those guys. And, I think it's a great fit I think Jaylen Waddle can probably play on any team in the NFL, right? I think he could just, he's not 6'3", 225. Of course, he's not that big boundary X that could just dominate, high point everything. But he's an awesome player, and I think get him on a team that's winning and help him continue to win. I'm not gonna go and say, hey, this guy's gonna be a back in wide receiver 1 for fantasy yet. If that's the way they want to play it, as far as, quantity of targets, great. Give him the ball and watch something great happen. But I think it's, to me right now, it's just bigger for Broncos trying to win. More teams should act like this.
Yeah, the Broncos are feeling like, hey, we're out from the Russell Wilson sweepstakes. We got some money to play with. We got a quarterback on a rookie deal. Everything that we need and everything that every franchise wants is right here, right? We got it. And so, hey, let's just go make a move. Let's see. We don't really need a whole lot of things, right? Let's go. Now we can go kind of luxury picking, right? The defense is good. We can add some stuff in the draft. The offensive line's pretty good. Tight end could be a spot where maybe we've tried to figure something out, but hey, we got a new weapon in Jaylen Waddle and something that we can trust, gives us some speed, gives us some stretchability, and this is, I think Waddle's a really, really good player here. So I think it's a good pickup for the Denver Broncos here. Let's stay on the Waddle side. There's a couple of questions in here. We got Waddle or Rome. To me, that's really easy. It's Rome Odunze. I'm assuming we're talking Dynasty, right? I would even probably for redraft say Rome Odunze too. Anybody have anything other than Rome on this?
I would definitely go Waddle. I would take Waddle in redraft in 1 year scenario based on what just happened. I mean, we do see most of the time on average, wide receivers changing teams don't just blow up the first year. It's happened a couple times, but it doesn't happen all the time. But if I had to, the competition for targets is way greater in Chicago than what the Broncos are rolling out there week 1.
Fair. Waddle should get force-fed some targets. QBs like open players more than relying on jump ball types like Sutton. I think Waddle has no problem getting open. We just got to keep Waddle on the field, and I think we're good. Somebody else asked a question of someone wants my Puka for Waddle and Pickens. Thoughts? I'm keeping Puka.
Yeah.
Keeping Puka.
I have a rule. I have a buddy of mine who will text me about trades. And at one point in the season, I was getting a trade review every, probably 3 days a week. And it always involved Puka. So I had to put a rule in. If it involves you trading Puka, the answer is no. The answer is still no for that particular trade right now. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I'm mostly, you really have to blow me away to get Puka. So it feels like everybody is generally on the side of the Jaylen Waddle trade to be good for Waddle here moving forward. It's a little odd that, you bring in Malik Willis and then you trade away your only receiver, your only playmaker right now on that roster. But we'll jump to the Miami side of this here in a little bit. Let's stick with the Denver side. Let's stick with Jaylen Waddle. Let's do a couple of swipes here. Jaylen Waddle or Jameson Williams, Dynasty Superflex, tight end premium.
J-Mo.
Tie.
All right, so we got a couple new features on the ffdynasty.com. As you just saw, I pulled up Waddle there. There's the stats are available. There's also this nice little info button on your swipes where it will show you the key matchups and key kind of components of things of score and age and where he's finished, and then it'll kind of give you a little comparison of breakdown. So if you're struggling with the swipes, you can go in here and kind of see what this player has been up to over the last couple of years on some, quick look stats. Obviously nothing too deep, but surface level stats here help you maybe make a decision on some swipes or, hey, what did Jameson Williams do last year? What did Jaylen Waddle do last year? It's right there. I think I still lean Waddle here. I'm struggling to put J-Mo's value together though right now. So I think that's a roadblock for me.
That's the
fair.
Biggest issue.
That's fair.
Is, we go from a situation where him and Amon-Ra St. Brown were dead even down the back half, the back stretch of the season. And then they bring in an OC who is known to run a ton of 12 personnel, 12 and 13 personnel, and they're wanting to get back to running the ball. So it's hard to create a path. It's hard to create a path to more volume for Jameson Williams, especially with Sam Laporta coming back Petsing. We don't really know what that looks like, how that's gonna shake out. So Waddle's value is definitely trending in the right direction now with the trade, and Jameson Williams is just kind of we're gonna have to wait. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait for a while to get this sorted out.
The 2 years in age difference here really makes me able to lean Jameson Williams, but I think points in my lineup for the next 2 years, it feels like Jaylen Waddle should be the answer for me here. All right, Tyler Shuck or Jaylen Waddle?
Tyler Shuck.
What you think, Rico? Waddle?
It's if Shuck's going to be a starter for the next 2 or 3 years, it's Shuck. And we don't know. I don't know yet.
I think they know. I think they know.
About to say, I was like, like, how bad does it have to be for them to, like, they won 6 games last year, which nobody had them winning. And then, like, how bad does it have to be this year for them to just say, all right, we're going to punt on this whole Tyler Shuck operation?
Yeah.
Super flex.
Right. And I think, we're going to look at a Daniel Jeremiah recent draft here at some point, and just kind of go over where we stand with maybe how we see this first round playing out in the actual NFL drafts. But, Saints bring in another receiver with that top 8-9 pick, whatever they got there.
8, yeah.
Now that ETN's there and Love's maybe is off the table potentially or seemingly, that would be just one more feather in the Shuck cap. All right, Jaylen Waddle or Golden? It's easily Waddle here.
Yeah.
But it does bring up a recent thing of just like all those like second year receivers right now, and mainly it's Higgins, Trey Harris, and Golden. Like those should all be buys for everybody right now. Their value's so low. Everybody thinks they stint, and maybe not Higgins so much, but Trey Harris and Golden, like Matthew Golden, we didn't really get to see a whole lot of opportunity for him, right? We saw a little bit late in the season, a couple of there it is. That's what Matthew Golden could bring to this team. And now it's a Packers receiver, but this core is a little less jammed up than it's been in past seasons. So I think Matthew Golden, I think Trey Harris, those kind of receivers that were floating in that back half of the or early second, late first kind of realms. Obviously, Luther Burden has skyrocketed at this point, so you can't afford him. But Jaden Higgins is also still relatively cheap out of all those 3 guys. I think all three guys are really good players. So those guys would be certainly on buy lists for me. But it's easily Jaylen Waddle here. All right, Saquon Barkley or Jaylen Waddle?
I got Saquon.
Probably Barkley still.
All right, I like it. Rashee Rice or Waddle? That's Rice for me. Anybody disagree?
Is Rice incarcerated or not?
He's free. He's free.
Okay. All right.
He's free.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go Rice then.
What Chev said.
Jordan Addison or Jaylen Waddle?
Jaylen Waddle.
A late first this year or Jaylen Waddle?
Jaylen Waddle.
Waddle.
Agreed.
It would let me ask y'all this. Sure. Would it have been an easy click for him in Miami still with the late first? Like if you were trying to potentially upgrade your wide receiver room, you're a contender.
Right.
Would you still, even if he was still in Miami, it's still Waddle over the late first no matter what, correct?
For me. Yeah.
It would have been for me too, but that's a great question, Shep. For me, it would have been just because I've been playing this game so long now. Like in the late first, you roll that dice, and sometimes it's great, and sometimes just like what just happened. 3 years later, the guy hadn't been in your lineup at all.
Right.
At least taking Waddle instead of that mystery box that's nice and shiny, but not near as shiny as a middle round pick. A mid first might be a little. Early first be a different conversation. Mid first, we'd have to talk about it, and into the first right there. This year is for me. And Casey too, just grab Waddle and be done with it.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, we're all on the same page. I just wanted to make sure. Well, again, I've been a Waddle denier for so long. I gotta recalibrate some shit. And I'm trying to do it on the fly.
I had a little take right there when you said Waddle quickly on that. I was like, wow, Chef's come a long way. And 2 days.
Yeah, hey, we get new information. We got to adapt.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, BTJ or Waddle?
Oh, you know where I'm at.
It's BTJ, right, boys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If the man wants to play football, it's BTJ. And he's
20
he's 4 years younger now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jaylen Waddle was BTJ before BTJ, right? So
True.
let's not pretend like rookie year Jaylen Waddle didn't set us on fire.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, he had a couple of really solid years to start, and then has faded into more hopes and dreams than points weekly. But then he'll remind you for a big stretch and be like, "Damn, this dude's so good."
The Patriots game in 2024.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you can do this whenever you want if they throw you the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a fucking idiot. Okay, all right.
So now they're designing stuff like Alex there said, force fed Jaylen Waddle should be a very fun Jaylen Waddle. All right, Scat Pack or Jaylen Waddle, Cam Scatabo or Jaylen Waddle.
Scat Pack.
Assuming he comes back ready to play healthy, I'm gonna go Scatabo just because the running back points are so nice when you get them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm outmanned here, but I think I would.
It's probably Waddle. I mean, Waddle's so much safer.
Yeah, I would take Waddle there. 27 early second or Waddle. I'm taking Waddle. CMC or Waddle. Maybe this is the last one we do, and we'll move on to the Dolphin side of this.
CMC.
Yes, Jeff. If we're gonna say Barkley, we got to say McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's just
okay.
Yeah, we just having fluid thought process. That's a good one too.
Yeah,
this is a good one.
Somebody just said you have a monster dong. Jeff.
Is that code for penis?
Yeah.
You're gonna be real disappointed, bud.
Next week we're gonna have Chev's wife on. Kyron Williams or Jaylen Waddle?
Kyron
Waddle.
Ooh. All right. Fight.
You put it up on the screen, bro.
Why Waddle over Kyron?
Oh, just poking at y'all, and then I think maybe Rich Eisen today was he had somebody on. It might have been Daniel Jeremiah talking about his mock, and Jeremiah was saying how the Rams should trade up for the Notre Dame running back.
Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
Man, all right. Okay. All right. This fucking propaganda machine. I'm sorry for cursing so much early in the episode tonight, but this propaganda machine, this anti-Jeremiah Love to the Titans propaganda machine that started with Adam Schefter is now viral spread its way into the other media is really starting to make me upset. All right. Me and my monster dong are not happy about this anti-Jeremiah Love to the Titans agenda. Talking about, teams are going to trade up to the second or the third pick. I don't like that at all. Let's get that fixed. All right.
Let's get it fixed.
Rams jumping in front.
Rams trading up to draft Jeremiah Love is one of the most ridiculous things I've heard.
Rams
try to go get one more with Stafford.
I would say way more receiver than running back.
Sure.
Signal for me.
Yeah.
In that regard. All right, let's jump over to the Miami side of this thing. He gave you $1.99 for thoughts on BTJ or 107. So $1.99.
Dong Maxi.
Had to throw that up on the screen.
What is happening right now?
Is this super flex or non super flex? And is it tight end premium or non tight end premium Ranalytics?
What we need is more questions and less statements about my dong.
He says super flex.
Super flex. Okay.
Oh, BTJ.
So, BTJ for you, Chev. No tight end premium. Okay.
Yeah. Just BTJ.
All right. So here we got the Superflex PPR crowdsource rankings from the FF Dynasty currently. That would put you around a KC Concepcion or we could call it an Omar Cooper or a Kenyon Sadiq. We could be floating in that range, or would we rather have BTJ?
I'd rather have BTJ. I'm willing to. My feet are taped to the bicycle on this BTJ thing. I think he's going to come back. He might not give us wide receiver 4 overall, or give us another 87 for 1282 and 10 or whatever it was his rookie year. But I feel confident he's going to go over 1,000 yards and like 8 touchdowns. And I can't say over the next 2 years, KC or Omar Cooper or Denzel Boston go that route immediately. I mean, if they got the nut landing spot, sure. But I know what BTJ is capable of. I know that last year just wasn't it. It just doesn't. It just falls apart sometimes. But I'm not willing. From what I saw his rookie year, I'm willing to bet that he returned something closer to that than whatever the hell that was last year, with him being, obviously a little sidetracked with everything that was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a big Concepcion guy. If it's not tight end premium, I could, get off the Sadiq. Omar Cooper and Concepcion, depending on the landing spot, that could be pretty fun for what BTJ for that price tag. But I think I would. It's just so hard to say because I just don't know where those two guys are going. I'll take Concepcion. F it. Big Co, what are you doing?
Yeah, obviously, if this was rookie year, the end of the rookie year, BTJ, we're not even talking about this. There's the only thing is the question mark. I mean, did he quit on the team? Did the team quit on him? A little bit of both. What just happened, right? Yeah. So the only reason that we're talking about this is because we got a little question mark about what's going on. The Jags say they're bringing him back and there's nothing's going on and everything's going to be great. I think we all would like to see the Jags just for fantasy purposes, just trade him away. Go ahead and take away any question marks. Put him in a good spot. Let's see what happens. Right now, given the information that we have, still would probably take Brian Thomas. But it's a fair enough question. You trade into the one spot 1-7, and then you could potentially trade your way up if you wanted to.
Yeah, I like that. All right, we got Riss up here as a member, so I appreciate you. As much as Waddle could work in the Denver offense, my blood pressure doesn't want anything to do with anyone in a Sean Payton coach team. I mean,
fair. He spread the ball around to his wide receivers last year in a frustrating fashion for fantasy. There's no doubt about it. When you thought it was going to be Sutton, it was somebody else. And when you thought it was going to be you thought it was going to give it to Evan Ingram, no, not a chance. And then go back and forth, and just a frustrating fantasy season for the wide receivers in Denver for sure. And quietly somehow Sutton still had a decent stat at the end of the year. It was just very frustrating. And I think he's a really good, after this trade, he's probably going to fall 2 rounds or so. And he's probably going to be a really good dynasty asset for 2 or 3 years on the cheap.
Yeah, me and Chev did a Bears episode last night. Crispy comes in here, says Bo Nix money for fantasy, just awesome for Bo Nix.
Yes.
The Waddle trade just gives me more confidence in what Bo Nix could be doing for the next few seasons here in Denver. And I think Waddle will have a very nice fantasy season here. So appreciate you, Riss up. We got another one from Ranalytics. No dong questions on this one, but Malik Willis or a 28 first. He's QB 3 of 3 for me. Also, the guy with a nuke between his thighs, but I'm not sure what to do.
I said I'm also a guy with a nuke between the thighs.
Yeah.
Dong knows dong right there.
Yeah. Dong recognized dong.
What was the question that had Malik Willis in it?
Malik Willis or 28 first.
Willis.
I knew that was going to be a quick one for Big Co. Chev, any thoughts there?
Willis, bro. Okay, so now we have
it's his third quarter. Like this is his last of his 3 quarterbacks. So right. I think he's asking, should he turn it into a 28 first or not? It's too far out for me to care about the 28.
That's what I was going to say. It's just too far. If that's a 2027 first, we can talk about some stuff.
Sure. Ooh, is that
Those
me?
dudes are like, I mean, the guys that we like from 2028 right now, one, they just finished their freshman year. Two, they're probably going to, a lot of them are probably going to be on different teams going into 2027. There's just too much. There's too much. It is too much unknown. Malik Willis could go the way of Justin Fields now that it seems like they are actively trying to make him a sacrificial lamb for the Dolphins program. But yeah, it's just too far. It's way too far out. I just try to get a 2027 first, or just hold. And then if it goes well, then you can get more than a 2028 first right now.
Yeah. And right here, you got Malik Willis at 904, but you can see in some recent drafts, he's been creeping up 705, 812, 805, 801. I think that's, all coming after the big signing and whatnot. Just, I think this value is going to continue to rise. He's going to be above, he's going to be in a Cam Ward, Tyler Shuck kind of area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Kyler Murray is going to continue to rise as well, but so I don't think he'll be at 7-11. So you can see that he's been in some newer drafts, been also on the rise. So we should have some updated ADP here relatively soon. We've been drafting our Tookuses off. But yeah, Malik Willis here, man, coming in. Definitely would rather have Malik Willis than a 28 first, though.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's talk about the Miami side of things. What's up? Hope y'all are living on the good side of the dirt. We are. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody in the chat tonight. You guys have been excellent so far. Keep up the good work, boys and girls. All right, let's talk about the Miami side of this. Malik Willis is there. They trade away Jaylen Waddle. What are we looking at as far as Miami? What are your thoughts here? How do you feel like this Miami is going to proceed here, Big Co? Since we'll start with you, since Willis has been, your homie here. Relatively, we liked him coming into the season, but he's really, really just been in your hip pocket since, those last couple of Green Bay appearances.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's a great trade for Miami. You don't trade Waddle if you haven't done all the other trades, right? They basically selling people right and left, and this is not new for them. They did this a few years back to get Tua. They literally made Brian Flores try to throw games, got him kicked out of town because he was like, no, I ain't doing that. And like, if something happened, now he can't even be a head coach anymore. Right. Like, so this team is no stranger to trying to lose for a better draft pick. And I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do in the NFL. I think it's hard to tell those guys to go out there and fight hard and not win, but we're going for Arch Manning here, boys. We're going for Arch Manning. Why not? For Willis, it doesn't help. That's for sure. Waddle's a playmaker, and he just walked out the door. And I like that question that somebody said, would Willis had signed there in free agency if he'd known that trade was going to happen? At the same time, Miami, if Willis just goes out there and looks like a competent quarterback, and they get their rookie that they want next year, if things fall in line and they can get Arch Manning, or if Sellers blows up, or whoever the prize is, it's obviously Arch Manning, but you know what I mean. If they got the second pick in the draft next year and they're happy with that type of player, the multi-year deal for Willis here gives them a chance to trade. Now they can trade Willis and get another draft pick. Like, in my eyes, like I see that you bought a draft pick. If Willis comes out and just slays, and now he's the next Lamar Jackson, then you got him. You're gonna have to pay him in 12 months or something like pay him some more money to keep him on the team. But if he does decent enough, somebody will trade you for him, and you put your rookie quarterback on the bench or on the team. So I don't. As far as Miami goes, it's tough. Like, when you see a team rebuilding, and then they bring in a quarterback with who I want to see. Right. I want to see Willis go out there and have success. But when that the organization has really no real intentions of winning games this year, it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if that, like I said, to start it off, like, and Big Co, you might have been not quite in here yet, but I don't know if their intention was for sure to sell Waddle when they brought in Malik Willis, right?
Yeah,
Like,
well, it's true. Maybe a first round pick wasn't on the board. That's what I mean. Like, it's a great trade for Miami because now you have 3 firsts next year in 2027. Oh my God, you got 3 firsts. It's not even Dynasty fantasy football. It's real NFL, and you got 3 firsts next year. And you know, if Willis isn't good and couldn't get Waddle the ball next year in the first 4 or 5 games, maybe nobody's giving up a first round pick for him anyway, right? Maybe if that might be you get the first round pick now, or maybe you never get it,
Yeah. I mean, 28, I don't think Waddle at age 28 is not fetching a first round pick. So it's just kind of strike while the iron's hot for both parties. The Broncos are clearly in their Super Bowl window, maximizing the rookie contract. You're out from their Russell Wilson contract that Casey alluded to. I agree. I mean, I agree with that. The sad part with the Miami thing is just Malik Willis just being thrown out there like a sacrificial lamb. Like, of course, we think that they're going to add someone, they're going to add pass catchers in the draft, at least one, hopefully more. But they have there's so many different holes there that it just.
The Chef's camera freeze up when he read the Chef's Dong merch got a drop soon comment.
Maybe so. We'll get. Oh.
And how this became a thing. See, something's happening right now, and I don't know what kind of agenda we got going on here. I don't like it.
I thought you were about to come back in with your pants off, so that's good.
Yeah, just with the camera is just focused down at my pantsless dong. Yeah. No.
Yeah. No, I mean, Chev, are you back with us?
Yeah.
Okay, we missed a bunch of where you were going with that. So
okay, where did it stop? Because like for me, I've just been fucking talking this whole time, and I thought I was fine, but apparently my dong interfered with the Wi-Fi and fucked everything up.
Apparently.
Okay, so where did we leave off? Like where did I cut out?
You were feeling bad about bad about Malik Willis.
Yes, so it sucks because obviously there's no bigger Malik Willis fan than Big Co, but I'm second. So I want to see him in a real situation. It seems like they're just content to strip him of all of his weapons, have him dongless on every Sunday for 16 Sundays in 2026, and then just draft Arch Manning in 2027. They're gonna add pass catchers, I'm thinking, with some of those picks, with the 13th pick or whatever they have this year, and then maybe hopefully somewhere else as well. But it just sucks. Like I want him to succeed, and it seems like they're just putting him in a Justin Fields on the Jets situation but he doesn't even have a Garrett Wilson to throw to or a Mason Taylor. As much as I don't like Mason Taylor, like Greg Dulcich is not the equivalent of Mason Taylor, and I love Greg Dulcich, but it's not. I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think they brought him in, and again, I don't know that they necessarily were always going to trade Waddle, but I think at least the comfortability, and I said this before about him, I think the comfortability with the situation with the guys who are in the positions of power there could at least make Malik Willis not feel like he's blowing it this year and has to perform, right? It's like, hey, we brought you in here. We know who you are. We know what your character is. We know that you can deal with this, and we're not expecting you to put the whole weight of the franchise on your shoulders right now. We just need you to go out there and compete, show us what you got, show us if, hey, this isn't going to be a 1-year indictment whether or not this works or not on you, because we've kind of given everything away. And so I think, them saying, hey, we're not trading Achane, I don't know if that's real or not. Right now, it's what they got to say, but also, they got some draft picks. That doesn't mean that they're not, they could move those 27s into 26 this year. They could be, we can bring up the Daniel Jeremiah draft and kind of segue into kind of how we could see this playing out. But like, there's no way that they're going to go into the season with, Malik Washington as their number 1 wide receiver, right? At the very least, Juwan Jennings will come on down to Miami for an incentive-laden contract, right? Which I think would be, probably a nice player for them at this point, right? So I don't know. I feel like it stinks for kind of the outlook right now for Malik Willis, but we could come in here and at the end of the draft and go, you know what? Miami did a decent job. This is a totally different organization than we've been looking at. And to me, that's a really big thing, right? Like, it's not the same old Dolphins. Yes, the owner is the same, but there's a lot of things that have kind of changed. And so, now everything has a fresh start right now. So there's no priors of what was in here. Right.
Right.
So I think you had to take what you got for Waddle. And I think, bringing in Malik Willis, maybe there was an offer for Arizona or something along those lines. But look, I think Malik Willis he's like, F it, man. We're here. We're I got an opportunity. I'm going to go make the most of this. They're going to give him a pass catcher. They're going to give him something else. Hey, maybe they just build up the trenches like, good franchises should do. I don't know. It is a little unfortunate for Willis, but I do at least feel like from where the GM and the head coach came from, I feel like there's at least a little bit of level of, hey, this isn't just a bunch of strangers standing in a room looking at each other, getting to know each other. There's a comfortability there that I think counts for a lot with as far as where the Dolphins franchise is right now. Certainly could be Arch Manning there next year. They could be Ofer or a couple for, but I don't know. I'm rambling now at this point, but
no, I mean, I think I'm right there. I think Malik Willis, all those guys are competitors at the end of the day. They're not going to go out and just say, all right, F it. We're going to lay down and let you just rub your dong all over our face for 17 weeks of the season. They're going to compete. It's just, it's the scene in Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story where he's talking to his wife. She said, I know you're going to try. I just know you're going to fail.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of where we're at with the Dolphins. I mean, they weren't super competitive with a really great, offensive mind, a play caller, and, limited quarterback and all that stuff. So now we're going into the unknown with a new defensive minded head coach without one of your staple pass catchers. And we don't know what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. And, look, they got pick 11 right now. We're going to jump into the Daniel Jeremiah mock draft just to kind of talk about some rookies right now and some landing spots and what we would like. But 11 could easily be Lemon. So if you just traded Waddle out for Lemon and got got a first for it, and now you got multiple firsts and third and fourth next year, awesome. Or Tyson or whoever, one of these receivers, right? So all of a sudden now you got another target, and maybe they bring in another guy or two in free agency. I've been a big Malik Washington believer. I think he could be a great 2 for your team. I think Juwan Jennings would be an awesome piece. That adds a little bit of attitude to that locker room, and nobody wants to pay him. So give him an incentive-laden contract, bring him on in here. If him and Malik build something, great. If they don't, whatever. It didn't really cost you much, right? But they're trying to also flip their cap situation around, right? That's one. They got to kind of figure all that out as well. So we got a couple of questions here. Let's answer those, and then we'll jump back into the mock. So the first question is, I had to scroll back up for that one, Chef's Dong. What 26 pick is Rico Dowdle worth, essentially? Like, what pick in 26 is Rico Dowdle? So where would we kind of peg that in?
Anything after the 204, 203?
I was thinking 2-2-ish.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, that's much easier answer after the NFL draft, kind of put some more pieces together, but he's going to be probably an RB2, right?
Yeah.
So is maybe potentially touchdown dependent, depending on how that offense ends up working out. And if Jaylen Warren's out there catching passes and stuff, and kind of, I can't imagine they're not leaning on him. So I think that'd be a solid RB2, and that would be, maybe back end RB2. And sometimes, some weeks he gets touchdowns, some weeks he doesn't. Maybe 2 times this year he gets 2 touchdowns, and helps you win the week. I think, maybe 2-2, 2-3, 2-4, something like that. Early second round pick for Rico Dowdle is probably not a terrible giveaway. If you get back that far. Tight end premium, there's a bunch of tight ends that people are really excited about. So maybe tight end premium and higher, maybe pushing back a little bit farther you don't want to miss a couple of, potential pass catching tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, you could, here he's RB 22 and 24, RB 17 last year. So do you think he beats that 17 mark? You think that's about where it is?
That's tough, man. Okay. What are we doing with Jaylen Warren here? Because he's still there.
Yeah, he is. He's still there.
Like we're not just going to act like he doesn't exist.
Yeah. Also, a pass catcher, a good pass catcher, and 50 targets is not a number to sneeze at. Mike McCarthy does have some familiarity with Rico. Rode him at the end of a season, but in Dallas. But for him to have 50 catches or 50 targets next year with sharing a backfield with Warren, I think would be tough. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they're sharing a backfield with my guy Caleb Johnson, but who knows?
A three-headed monster.
Yeah, and so like if we go back to these rookie rankings real quick as this page loads, we can see, like I'd rather have Mike Washington, right? I'd rather have Eli Stowers, maybe not in tight end premium or non-tight end premium, but in tight end premium for sure, and probably a non-tight end premium too, honestly.
And if superflex is quickly could be, if Ty Simpson's going to be worth something after the NFL draft in superflex. Right now, he's forgotten about. I'm telling you, somebody's going to take a quarterback. They always do, a little higher, and then all of a sudden he's got some draft capital. And there's still a handful of teams that could do a lot worse.
Yeah. This Crispy says if Rodgers is back, I think they'll keep Rico on the field as much preferred as the all-around back. I don't know. The offense is going to be run a lot different this year with, I think, Rodgers out there with McCarthy back. Because that was a lot of short area passing targets. So for what was going on there, really, that was kind of their passing game because they didn't have a whole lot of options. Now they've already added Pittman into that mix. We'll see kind of what else they do. I hope Pat Freiermuth can get, targets back his way because it's criminal. The underusage of Pat Freiermuth's midlife crisis right now is crazy. But I would rather have Jonah Coleman. I'd probably rather have Jadarian Price, and in this mock, he's knocked into the first round. And then it's, do you want Emmett Johnson, Chev, or do you want, Rico Dowdle? And obviously some NFL draft stuff will determine that somewhat value-wise. But Jeremy Bernard, there's so many guys in that early two where it's probably more like a middle two for me as far as Rico Dowdle. So, long-winded response there, but I appreciate the question. There was a few more in here before we jump into this draft. Let's see here. Dylan asks, curious if you guys watch Flock Fantasy, guys, Domain or FSE. I do not. I don't really watch any fantasy sports stuff. I watch like sports talk radio stuff, but I don't really watch any fantasy guys stuff, mostly just because I don't want anybody's takes in my head. Those guys have built a solid franchise over there on the back of Mason. Not my favorite content as far as like how I would want to consume it, but those guys are really good at what they do. So shout out to them, but I'm not really sure why you're asking that question. There was another one in here. Okay, here we go. Would you trade Achane and London for Olave, Nico, and Hampton, 12-team superflex contending team? So see, I like that you provided a lot of detail there and what's going on. You're contending, it's super flex. The only thing I don't know is if it's tight end premium or not. So I appreciate that. All right, so we got Achane, London for Olave, Nico, and Hampton.
If it's short bitch FFPC, I might stay Achane in London. But if it's anything other than that, I think the 3 for 2 is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think Achane. I'm on the Achane London side.
All right. So if Achane stays in Miami, how does that make you feel?
100 targets for Achane, another 19 points a game. It's just it's gonna be. They're gonna score 16 points. Achane's gonna score 12 of them. Like that. That's what we're looking at. I mean, they might average. That might average a cool 17 points a game, and Achane's going to be the catalyst behind their 295 yards of offense. He's going to be 175 of it.
Yeah. So Achane, I think right now is probably going to be falling down in some rankings as we do crowdsource and we do rankings. We got a lot of updates coming to the websites. We got a trade calculator on the way. We've got expert rankings on the way. ADP is going to be available here really soon. Lots of other tools in development right now that are coming in here that'll help us, in these shows and help you guys out down the road here in the next few weeks. So we're really, really excited about that. And it'd be fun to have those right at this moment. But so Achane and Drake London here are back-to-back in 22 and 23 in the Superflex tight end premium crowdsource rankings. And then Hampton's kind of right here. Would you guys rather have Hampton or Achane?
Achane.
Would I rather have Hampton or Achane?
With everything that you know right now.
Achane.
Okay.
Yeah.
That gap is certainly closed, though. Right?
For sure. I mean, there's so much positive signal. I mean, you're talking about two ships passing in the night, boy. The Chargers offense is, you can have some really aggressive visions about what they could do. And then we just talked for about 10 minutes about how bad we think it could be for the Dolphins.
Yep.
But even still, you can still get a really consolidated target. Like I said, 100 targets for Achane. You're telling me that I could get 75 to 90 receptions for Devon Achane for him to make people miss in space? Damn, all the rushing. Like, yeah, okay, give him 260 carries or whatever, 230, whatever he had this year, and another 100 targets during bag season. Yeah, bro, he's going to put up 1,900 yards from scrimmage, man. We don't have to make this harder than what it is. So it's sexier to take Amarion Hampton. These are going to be ugly, gross points, and he might only score 6 touchdowns, but he's going to give you 1,900 yards from scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, with the mix master McDaniels at the helm over in LA and no longer in Miami, do these numbers get a lot closer to kind of what Hampton is, and these numbers for Achane fade a little bit? But the targets, like you said, if they're already 85 targets, if we go up to close to that triple-digit number, which would be insanity, should really help the floor. But this is a nice addition to the FFD website. We've got statistics in the crowdsource there. Like I said, on the swipes, there's the comparison. But this to me is like you said, Big Co, it's like a 3. You're tearing down a little bit, but you're getting a 3 for 2. Like, you're not tearing that far down from Hampton from one of these two guys in London and Achane, right? At least as far as
I mean, London.
And how different is Olave than London right now? In actuality of points being scored.
Yeah, and Nico too. That's what like London, and I mean Olave just gave us a full season with no head trauma, and that's really all we needed. And then of course he had Shuck with the much stronger back half of the season for Olave once him and Shuck got going. But like Nico's a stud. Olave's a stud. Always has been. Just missed some time. London and like Hampton is really the only thing we don't really know about, really. And then we're assuming, like Chev said, you could have some aggressive visions. We're assuming the Chargers offense upgrade this year, and then you go back. I mean, Hampton was looking real good before he got hurt last year. So to me, it's 3 really good players for 2. You're trading 2 really good players for 3 really good players. It seems like, yeah, Achane is a little tear down to Hampton right now, but 5 games into the season, Hampton could have 8 touchdowns, and Olave and Nico are both studs. So I would for me, it's just, I'd take 3 good players instead of 2 good players. If one of those guys, if Achane was, Bijan, then maybe I'm not doing the deal, right? Or if it's Achane and Jamar Chase, for those 3 guys, maybe I'm not doing the deal. But I don't see that, it's close enough, but I would take the 3 guys because it's hard to find really good players, and you're getting 3 of them and giving up 2.
I would like to point out that Drake London, just whenever he was just banged up all year this year.
Sure.
Just dealing with stuff. But that stretch where he was healthy, where he was the wide receiver 1 in 3, I think he was the wide receiver 1 for 3 straight weeks or 3 weeks in a row. And then he was the wide receiver like 5 at a certain, the week that he wasn't the wide receiver 1. So like a whole month he was just, and that's just with them hyper targeting him. I don't think that that's going to change with Stefanski. They've just got to figure out who's going to throw the ball. Who's going to throw the ball to him? Is it going to be? Is it going to be Tua? Is it going to be? I mean, we've seen Tua hyper target somebody before. I mean, I have the ceiling for those guys is very similar. If we hit the ceiling for Olave, we hit the ceiling for Nico and Amarion Hampton, but you don't have to hit the ceiling to win for Achane and London. And the median outcomes to me are better for those guys if they're just healthy than Nico Olave and Hampton. Maybe potentially possibly.
Yeah, we're a hamstring away from Nico being like the wide receiver 2 for the year, right? I mean, that's
I think
that's
Nico's down year. I think
though.
Nico's down year.
Nico.
I think
I know, but when it's not something, it's amazing.
Yeah, it has been a lot of something, and we'll see what this offensive line and what this Texans second year with Caley calling plays, maybe a little more comfortability. Hopefully Stroud shaking off the cobwebs, and maybe we don't have to see any more concussions from him either, because that's I think that was a big part of the struggles down the stretch for him. I think that was the first time that something like that has happened to him. I feel like he was seeing ghosts, for lack of a better term, right? He was not confident. He was not the same Stroud that we had seen throughout his career. Whether he was playing bad or not, it just felt like the confidence and the swagger wasn't quite there. But yeah, you're tearing down here. You're going 2 to 3. I think points in your lineup wise, I think the value wise is on the the London and Achane side, for like, if we're just talking about pure fantasy values and the higher end aspects. But I think all those guys can score. The 3 guys can score the same amount of points as those other guys, the higher end, the higher value guys. So I don't think there's a necessarily wrong answer. I kind of like the 3 side in there, but it's if there wasn't a hiccup, a glitch in the matrix right now for Achane, I would be further on that side. I just don't exactly know where we're going to end up and where Achane's going to be and how it's going to be. So I think I lean slightly to the 3 side, but seems trendy right now for people to be getting off of Achane and really being okay with just lateral movements with Achane, right? It seems like a lot of people want out right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where people have been for the last. This was where they were, when he was dealing with the calf injury early in the training camp process last year. I think it's really hard for people to feel comfortable because Achane missed so much time his rookie year with injuries, and you have the notion that, oh, this guy can't hold up in today's NFL, and so you're looking for a reason whenever football's not being played, he's not scoring points in your lineup. You're looking for a reason to try to get out of that business for somebody who you can feel good about, who the narrative is always going to be or feels much more positive about.
Yeah.
I just don't see. I don't have Achane. I don't have Drake London and Nico in different tiers, right? So like if you're giving me Chris Olave to go from Achane to Hampton. Well, I'm not Chev and Casey. Like, if I'm not in the I want to get out of Achane business, I want to get into Achane business. I just think
you do.
Olave is the good. Olave being the kicker in the trade here is just like, if that was, go.
Yeah, I don't
40, 50 picks down in a startup and pick another wide receiver. It's different. If it was Cortland Sutton, then I'll stay with Achane. I'll stay with Achane in London just to keep Achane, because a guy who can catch 80 passes from the running back position and break 50 or 60, 70-yard touchdown runs from the run at the same time, right? And everything that's gone downhill for Miami, Achane's still, doing his thing.
Yeah, and dude, this could be a situation where we're all totally on the mark, where Miami's just really, really stinks. But I mean, how much worse could Miami really be than they were? I mean, obviously you had a savant calling the run game there, so that's right. That is something. But Slowick is also from that kind of tree, and I know everybody hates Slowick at this point, but when's the last time CJ Stroud was good? Bobby Slowick was the guy.
True. Well, one more thing, like.
And that offensive line was supposed to be terrible for the.
I certainly assume Achane gets traded with the Waddle trade, right? I assume Achane's not on the Dolphins, but let's just say he is. Malik Willis and what he's going to do to defenses, like Achane could still crush. It could be Malik Willis and Achane and 3 wide receivers we've never heard of, and Achane could still crush. The defense is going to have to play a running quarterback now, and then all of a sudden, the running back is a 4.240 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into this mock draft for a little bit here. Let's talk about some rookies. Let's talk about where DJ kind of went in version 3 of the mock here. No big surprises at the top. We got or at least for the top pick, we got Mendoza going there. Then the Jets take Avril Reese. Then we got a tackle out of Miami, Maui Goa.
Yeah.
Good player.
Yeah.
Then we got Jeremiah Love going to your Tennessee Titans, which has been, very popular of late. Obviously, the Cardinals, have kind of taken themselves out of it for the most part. And a lot of these, outside of the G-men, and the Commanders, these are kind of your favorites for the Love spots right now. But it seems like everybody, from the things that I've seen, that Tennessee really loves Jeremiah Love. And, I saw Scott Barrett today be, upset about, and I think, like you said, Chev, I think this is just the echo chamber that we're in right now, is that everybody's upset that it may be setting in that the Titans may really be taking Jeremiah Love here, and there's other things for them to deal with, and the running back isn't the piece that you need, and yada, yada, yada. Maybe it's not, maybe it's not, right? But again, I always go back to that Detroit Lions draft, man, and we have to go back to that draft and just remember at that point, the Detroit Lions are not these Detroit Lions that we all know and love, and they were the Detroit Lions for the most part at that point, right? They were turning a corner, but they weren't who they were. And in that draft, they took Jack Campbell and Gibbs, and everybody who puts on their Twitter cap analyst was telling them how dumb they were. And Gibbs is one of the best, if not the best, running back in the league. And Jack Campbell's makes all pro teams, right? Yeah. And so just because you guys think it's dumb and think you got everything figured out doesn't mean Jeremiah Love can't come in here and help flip this Titans franchise around. While I agree, the luxury pick is the really good running back to add the cherry on top to something. It also could be with somebody like a Robert Saleh and a Dayball where, hey, this defense isn't god awful. They've got a good defensive line, right, Chev? I mean, there's good pieces on that defensive line.
Yeah. I mean, it's really dumb when you think about it, because these are the same people that said, "Oh man, no, they shouldn't take Cam Ward. You don't need a." But they were the same people that are saying that the Giants should draft, should take a quarterback. Like, they don't have a bunch of fucking holes. So
take a running back.
I mean, well, last year.
Oh, yeah.
And then this year, now it's, the Titans don't need to do that. They need to, shore up some other. Bro, go get the best player in the draft.
I think that's a lot. That's the argument, is like, hey, who's the biggest blue chip player you can get? By the end of the year last year, I think, the line was grading out middle pack, right? You had kind of figured out some parts and pieces here. I think you could still upgrade that a little bit, but I think Cam Ward's your guy. You brought in a good slot receiver. You have A.O. Manor out there who could be good. You're bringing Calvin Ridley back for some veteran presence. Chim DK was fantastic in his rookie campaign. So, you could definitely take a receiver there and be cool. And hell, you could even take an offensive line there and be cool. You could take a defensive line. Like there is certainly other places that you can go, but maybe with Robert Saleh coming to town and having a beast of a running back and a run game that you can lean on, maybe that is something that it's not outside of the realm of possibilities that could be something that changes your culture offensively.
I mean, you're talking about a head coach who's coached Breece Hall and Christian McCaffrey, and he understands what those guys could do for an offense. It doesn't, let's not make this. We don't have to make this harder than what it needs to be. Like my dong.
All right, so we got Giants taking Sonny Styles, and then Cleveland Brown comes in here and they get Carnell Tate, which it wouldn't be a terrible thing for the Titans to take Carnell Tate either. But if Carnell Tate goes to the Browns, ugh.
I told you, we've said this on the show multiple times. We know that they're going to take a receiver, and we know that we're going to be sad if it's one of these big three receivers. So if it's Carnell Tate, I will be tearing my garments and gnashing my teeth, because that sucks. But also, we could be wrong. I mean, if it's, if Deshaun Watson has his powers back, if he's gotten his life together, or if it's Shador, like we all kind of want it to be, I think it could be cool. It just doesn't feel good right now.
Yeah, true. It doesn't feel great right now. I would much rather see him, I've kind of really come around to liking a receiver in New Orleans here to pair up with Olave. The Commanders go Ruben Bain Jr., so they don't go with a receiver either. Right now, that room is looking depleted. They need somebody else out there in that receiver room badly. So I don't think it's ever a bad thing to take Ruben Bain Jr. I think that's a solid move. I don't care how long his arms are or not. It doesn't.
All right, man. I was before I realized that we would actually take Jeremiah Love. I was really, really torn between him and Caleb Downs. I think Caleb Downs is the best defensive player in the draft, but Ruben Bain is gonna really mess some people's lives up for a really long time in the NFL. But that's also a good place for Juwan Jennings, if you think about it.
The Commanders?
Yes.
Sure.
It's a great place for Juwan Jennings. No block, no rock. The philosophy that lives on. He can be third and Juwan there. You still got Terry McLaurin able to move around and do all the dirty work. That's a good spot for him too.
Yeah, they need something. They need some playmakers. They did bring in Chig. Well, let's talk about Chig here in just a minute and some of these other free agents that we haven't really touched on a whole lot. Saints don't take a receiver. Chiefs don't take a receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs go offensive line, which I don't think anybody would be upset about that. I personally don't think the Chiefs need to take a receiver. I know everybody hates Rashee Rice and Worthy, but I think we're with what they have there, they could be just fine. Like, I don't think that everyone's really making it out like they just have like the worst receivers in the league. And I'm like, dude, if Rashee Rice is healthy, he's one of the best receivers, and not being a jabroni, he's one of the best receivers in the league. What are we talking about?
It makes no sense. We liked Jaylen Waddle during the draft evaluation process. Tyquan Thornton had the best year of his career. Yeah. Xavier Worthy has contributed and had a really strong back half of his rookie year.
Right.
They're not ass. They were just being handicapped by terrorist Matt Nagy.
They've also not had Andy Reid at one point in the season last year said it, like they haven't had a run game, and now they're reinvesting in the run game. And and me and you, Chev, I don't remember what show it was that we talked about it, but like the Chiefs are the team that helped change over the way NFL defenses play, and then they never changed over what they do on offense, it feels like, right? Yeah. Everybody else adapted, and the Chiefs haven't, and it feels like now the Chiefs are making an attempt to say, hey, we're going to put this cap on all these defenses. We're just not going to get beat deep. We're not going to let them – we're going to make you earn it all the way down the field, which the Chiefs still can do. We're just so accustomed to the Chiefs being the best team in the league that when it doesn't go, we're like, oh, what's wrong with the Chiefs? Like, what's wrong with the Chiefs? Probably nothing. Yeah. Their quarterback tore his ACL at the end of the year, and it didn't work out. But hey, now you put a running back who can be a top 5 playmaker in the league. Adding another offensive line here would be cool. Caleb Downs goes to the Bengals, and then you have Miami at this point. I don't know if this came out before this Waddle trade. This Jeremiah, this was yesterday at some point. Where he probably already had this together. If it just
came out yesterday, the hay was already in the barn. They just had to release it.
But Miami's got a bunch of holes too, but this feels like Jordan Tyson, Malik, Lemon, one or the other here is the fit.
Yes, 1,000%. That's what feels, minus 1,000 odds is them taking a pass catcher here now.
Dougie Fresh off the top row, Chiefs fan, says Chiefs not taking a tackle who could actually be a guard at 9. Edge or trade down.
Whoa. Right. When did Spencer Fano become a potential guard?
Ooh, Chev doesn't like it. Cowboys.
I've heard that about Francis Mauigoa. I have not heard that about Spencer Fano.
Yeah. Lemon gets to the Rams, which is what everybody is dying for. Just keep Lemon out of Baltimore, please, and thank you. Jordan Tyson then goes to the Ravens in this situation, which I don't hate. It hurts our Zay Flowers, but we also have to, take the expectations of what we've seen this offense be and completely reimagine of kind of what it could be with a Sean Payton, Ben Johnson disciple kind of calling offense. I want this to be Sadiq real bad to the Ravens. and just give them the playmaking tight end, but maybe it's a receiver here. Omar Cooper then to the Jets at 16 is crazy.
That I do not like.
Hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would drop Cooper down for me a good bit. Although, hey, Geno Smith.
There's just too many. There would be too many mouths to feed with too many questions. I don't know. Daniel Jeremiah, I don't feel like he was locked in with this one.
Then you got the Carolina Panthers taking Casey Concepcion, which, and the show that we just put out last night or recorded last night, this would be a bummer for my Coker acquisitions. Yeah. But, this would be fun. I'll do something else, Panthers. Take Sadiq there.
Yeah. That's the NFL mock draft database. That's what we've seen several times now.
Yeah. Yeah. So any other skills in this one here? We see, oh boy. Kenyon Sadiq to the Niners would be pants off.
Oh. Does he automatically become like the 1-3 or the 1-4 in every rookie, any tight end premium rookie draft?
He doesn't make it down to 27 though.
It's possible, man. Far. There's a real Kenyon Sadiq hate hive going on.
It ain't happening.
I'm telling you, Big Coach, there's a lot of people that feel like he's not good at football.
Hey, let him fall to 27. Hopefully San Fran would pick him up. Even though I would much prefer a non-skill position player for San Francisco. Let's just keep going trenches one side or the other. Sadiq would be awesome.
Yeah, you guys definitely need to go O-line, but not if there's no really good players there.
And then last but not least, Jadarian Price coming in at 32 for the Seattle Seahawks. Seems crazy, but if that happens, Jadarian Price, end of the first round pick locked in, I would think, for rookie drafts, right?
Yeah. If he gets first round draft capital to a Seahawks team,
Killer Potato Fish says he's taking Price at 106 if that happens.
You could easily 1-8, 1-9 if he goes to the Seahawks in the first round.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You're not a huge Price fan, Chev.
I don't want him to go. I don't want him to go to Seattle. I think that would be the RJ Harvey bump of this class. All of a sudden, people are going to be steaming him. Like I said, you taking him 106. That does not feel good to me.
Yeah. All right. In the vein of this draft, I've got a Patreon question that Mitch asked that I want to throw in here, and then our boy Scratch Zach had a question from one of his homies that he wanted to get answered here. So let me get to Mitch first. He said, trying to get the 101. The other guy really wants Burden. Is Burden plus the 105 for 101 an overpay?
One more time. What was that?
Burden and the 105 for the 101. So Jeremiah Love or the 105 and Burden. What would you prefer here?
If Love becomes Bijan, then it's Love. You can't get Bijan. Nobody's trading Gibbs or Bijan in Dynasty football right now. It's not happening. So to get an absolute freak, young, ridiculous running back that's catching passes and breaking long runs and scoring touchdowns and somebody that can do all that, then you don't trade that guy. So it's you make the move up for Love if that's how you feel about Love. Otherwise, I think we all agree that Luther Burden's about to be something else with Chicago.
So essentially what you're saying is, would I give up the one wherever you would have Burden in this? I think he would be in that same tier with all three of the wide receivers.
Sure.
So you'd have the one you'd be giving up. You'd be trying to acquire the 1-1 with the 1-2 to 1-4 and the 1-5. Is that enough to jump to get Jeremiah Love? I don't think it is.
Yeah, to me, it's the 101. Just like you said, Big Co, and I just feel like Love is up there with those top prospects that we've had over the however long we've been doing this. Almost a decade to 10 years, right?
Yeah.
As far as the podcast goes, right? And just getting into those 101 positions when it's a player like this is just extremely hard, and like 9 times out of 10, it's paid off, right?
Yeah.
Whether it was Saquon or JT, and there's been times where that didn't look great, but the value really almost doesn't even matter. Like Bijan, whoever it was, like the value of that pick, like we already can see right here in this ADP, like Jeremiah Love's at 209, which he could float up even a little higher here. So Lemon's at 307. That's your first, would basically be one of those picks, but it's that pick. It doesn't say if it's super flex or not.
Well,
let's just say it is. Let's say it's Jordan, Tyson, and Burden, or the 101, and I don't think that gets it done. To be able to do that, I would just rather have that Love piece, and then I can go do whatever I want with it once it's on my roster. I think I can get more than that when I'm rostering Jordan Love, Jeremiah Love.
Yeah. A couple years ago when it was all the quarterbacks, you had Caleb Williams and Drake May and JD, and then you had Malik Neighbors and Brock Bowers and yada yada yada. It's like you could have made that case even then. Like coming off of Caleb Williams was very, very difficult. I mean, I didn't see many people trade off of Caleb Williams with a absolutely monster first 6 or 7 picks. With those guys I just listed, Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Like that, just Rome was up there. Like there's just stacked first round, and you still didn't see many people trading out of the 1-1 to get off of the the Caleb Williams. Like Jeremiah Love, just if he's that's Daniel Jeremiah on the radio today on Rich Eisen was talking about, like, because he talked about the Rams trade, saying, hey, I wouldn't mind seeing the Rams trade up and try to get him to go completely all in with Stafford. But and he was talking about just like the same thing we've heard for months now. Like he's a Bijan Robinson, he's a Gibbs, and he's a Barkley, and he's a CMC kind of guy. And if that's really the case, then those guys it's so hard to find a running back that valuable. Right. And you can see it in the Dynasty startups. You have those first couple, and then there's a couple more in another round, and there's a couple more in another round, and then the confidence drops way off. And I mean, Luther Burden could just, if he somehow becomes St. Brown, then it's probably, what happens with that 1-5 or whatever, if you hit that out of the park, if that's Lemon falls that far in your draft, or you take Sadiq and Sadiq becomes Travis Kelce, you could make that work, but it almost doesn't matter what happens with Jeremiah Love. Ashton Genty and the Raiders just imploded last year, and he fell back, 7 spots in a startup this year, right? Genty's a folk hero. Ashton Genty's you could not afford to buy him in that 1-1 spot last year. Jeremiah Love's gonna be the same thing.
Yeah, and it was terrible for Genty. RB11.
Exactly. 55 catches.
Well, the Raiders are about to pull the biggest okey doke ever and draft Jeremiah Love and just come at you with a 2-headed backfield of Genty and Love.
Boy,
they wouldn't troll us like that.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh.
All right, I got another question here, and then I'm sure Big Co is going to jump off of here, and we'll see what's up. All right, so we have a question from the Patreon, old Zach Scratch, an OG, 10-team PPR. He's got Jamar Chase and Luther Burden, 10-team PPR, Superflex, no premium. Jamar Chase and Luther Burden on one side. On the other side, it's T-Law, Marv, Oronde Gadsden, and Tet McMillan. And I'm going to go see if I can find this to pull up the visual here so that you guys can see it.
Jamar Chase and Luther Burden, or for T-Law, Tet, Rondé Gasson, and who was the other guy?
Marv.
Oh, wow, that's a lot. I want to say I couldn't imagine what you would say after you said Jamar Chase and right, Chev. Like he said, you starting with Jamar Chase and Luther Burden, and I almost don't care what you say because that's the side I want to be on.
Right.
But
that's
you
really
keep stacking
difficult.
them. You keep stacking players over there. You get a quarterback and Trevor Lawrence, Rondé Gasson, took the world by storm first couple weeks of the season. Then he kind of disappeared, but Tet's a beast, and Marvin Harrison is going to be a wide receiver 2 for 12 years. I don't know if he's ever going to be a wide receiver 1. It might be in there somewhere. It might not be in there. I don't know why it wouldn't be in there. If he just caught a couple balls at the beginning of the season, that kind of plays into the Kyler Murray hype too. Like Tet's a stud. Marvin Harrison's really, really good. Gadsden can be electric, and Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback. It's hard to get, but I don't know if I can get off of Jamar Chase and Luther Burden at the same time. I mean, it's hard to pass that up. Tet's a no-brainer, and Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback that scores points. Gadsden and Harrison are like ridiculous if they're the kickers in the trade now, right? Jamar Chase and Luther Burden. Jamar Chase is worth two. Jamar Chase is over 2 of the guys on the other side, no matter who they are. It just if you line it up at Trevor Lawrence for Tet, Trevor Lawrence and Tet for Jamar Chase, that might get that done. That might be like a 50-50 deal for a lot of people because in a super flex it's hard to get a quarterback and Tet's a beast. So that's probably like a decent trade. Chase for Lawrence and McMillan. But what we don't know about Luther Burden's volume next year, right? Like if he gets DJ Moore's gone, Luther Burden could be. I mean,
Dougie Fresh comes in off the top rope with another good, stars in a 10-teamer, right?
Yes.
Right. And no premium for the tight end, right? So the 2 other good points there, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what the starting lineup looks like necessarily. I could maybe see if that's in there somewhere. So Chev, what's your thoughts here? I know you kind of quickly jumped on the Chase and Burden side, but the thought process is kind of similar to what Big Co's saying and Dougie.
If my quarterback situation was, if I just had Olds at quarterback and I was rocking with Jamar Chase, I had Jamar Chase and Luther Burden, I could convince myself after the year that Trevor Lawrence just had to be on that side. But the way Big Co broke it down, I would even take it a step further, especially with it being no premium. That knocks Rondé Gaston's value down a little bit. But you could just comfortably say it's Trevor Lawrence, Tedero McMillan, and a Rondé Gaston essentially for Jamar Chase. And then Luther Burden, you're swapping Luther Burden and Marvin Harrison Jr. And I just I'm in a 10-teamer. Yeah, just give me Jamar Chase because I don't want to have to think about what I'm doing with what I'm doing if Tedero doesn't take another step forward, if Marvin Harrison is a career wide receiver too, and you got Jamar Chase just coming out here putting up 120 catches and doing all this crazy nonsense tied to an elite quarterback. The price, Jamar Chase's price he's lost some steam because of the emergence of Puka and JSN, but make no mistake about it. If Joe Burrow plays 17 games this year, that motherfucker's probably winning the Triple Crown again.
Yeah.
And we're talking, and then his price is, the ceiling is the roof to steal from Michael Jordan. Like there's no price to get him, especially in a 10-teamer. You can't do enough.
Yeah.
You can't do enough. So I'm on the Chase and Burden side. I understand why if this was a 12-team league, I could get down with this potentially, but it being 10 teams,
12
Jamar
teams
Chase,
start a lot, but big lineup, maybe, but like RZA or RZA or whatever you're going with there says the quarterbacks are probably a bit more available, right? In the 12 and the 10 man.
Yeah.
Another deduction for that side.
Yeah. It's just,
So
you're splitting a dollar into quarters potentially, and then you're throwing in another silver dollar just with Luther Burden and where his value is right now.
well, and you caught two good come ups with Lawrence and Gadsden there, right?
Yes.
That trade isn't even palatable a year ago.
Process wise, you're profiting on the resurgence of Trevor Lawrence's value and Oronde Gadsden being a third or a fourth round, probably a fourth round pick and a 10-teamer, and just being able to get that off your roster for a profit.
Yeah. All right, Justin Jefferson or 227 first rounders, 12-man super flex.
Damn. That's I go.
I'm sticking with Jettas. I'm sticking with.
I was gonna say I'm sticking with that.
Same thing we just all said about Chase. We're a year removed from Justin Jefferson being ungettable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. With no context on those it's Justin Jefferson 99 times out of 100, unless for some reason you can be like, both of those are really early. They're the worst two picks in the league. I don't know which one's going to be the best, but they both suck, and they're going to be two. That's going to be top three. And you got now, I'm telling you right now, like Arch Manning's going to be a first-round dynasty pickup. I mean, a starter pick. Like he's going to be, but by the time before the season kicks off,
He might push it to 28 now. I'm hearing my sources tell me.
your source. Hey,
I'm hearing sources telling you that there's going to be a couple of these quarterbacks in the 27 class going to the 28 class
because they're going to make
I've seen it 100 times. I've seen it 100 times. This 27 class is going to evaporate in front of our face, and everyone's going to be standing around going, "What the hell happened?"
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, Arch could push this shit to 2028.
Depends on who gets the first pick.
He came in rich. He's going to leave rich. He's going to get richer.
Yeah. Just
if the Jets have the first pick, he ain't coming out.
Yeah. I mean, or he's going to say, Paw Archie, go tell them I don't want to play for them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. All right.
I got a trade for you guys.
Okay.
This came across my inbox. So there's 326 first and Tyler Shuck in a point per carry league for Bijan.
Bijan.
Yeah. A point. I mean, how many
0.25
points does Bijan score?
65 a game, baby.
Yeah, 0.25 points per carry. It's 105, 108, and 110. Plus Tyler Shuck.
This year?
Bijan all day.
Yeah.
Bijan all day.
Yeah, if Love's not in there, kick rocks.
Yeah. The guy told me I was being unreasonable, and I said, okay, so why did you offer me that if you think that I'm being unreasonable?
Yeah.
It's a point.
Well,
Yeah.
I see it all the time. It makes me, when people put their dynasty rankings out on Twitter and it's like, oh, this the God tier and it says 3 firsts. Like, I ain't trading none of those guys for 3 firsts. I'm just not doing it.
That's the starting point for the God tier is 3 firsts. That's where we start having a conversation. Now, I at least fielded this offer with going, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There were some nuts in this trade offer.
True. You didn't send me something that I was a quick, immediate rejection, but like I'm not, like you said, without it being the 1-1 being in that deal where you're like, all right, I'm trading you Bijan, but I'm getting Jeremiah Love plus all this other stuff over here to play with. Like I'm not trading you Gibbs or Bijan or Jamar Chase or any of those. I'm not giving any of those guys away for 3 first-round picks.
Yeah. It doesn't make a ton of sense.
Chef, who's the Puka of this draft? Nobody.
Man. That's the thing. If we had the foresight, I mean, you could call these guys.
I mean, I could tell you who it is, but you don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Motherfucker, I will whip my dick out right now on camera if you start that shit. Don't you dare.
Who is it?
Antonio Williams.
Oh, yeah, dude, I'm cool with Antonio Williams. I thought
you want me to say Zachariah Branch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna fucking start throwing up all over the place.
Any free agents that we haven't talked about that you guys want to talk about? Chig, I mean, you're a Titans guy. I've always liked Chig. I can't quit him. So I don't, and it's not the worst for Sinnott. Sinnott could I beat Chig out, or Chig could be awesome. Both could be nothing. Any thoughts on Chig? I don't really. What do you think?
Okay, here's the issue is that Chig came in when we were just in a period of total dysfunction. I mean, this is a tight end that can score 70-yard touchdowns. It's on wax. 2024 against the Houston Texans. Just, hey, we throw him a little dump screen. He just outruns everybody in the end zone. He's an elite athlete at the position. We just never could get the offense settled enough to where he got consistent targets. I mean, his career yards per catch, I think his rookie year he averaged about 14, and then he was at 10 for the last 3 years. So he was just drastically underutilized. So going somewhere where they've got it a little bit more figured out, I'm cool moving on from Chig because we have Gunnar Helm, and I think Gunnar Helm's a really, really good player.
Yeah.
But I think he could flourish in Washington. And I think that it's just, I was a big Sinnott truther also as well, too. I've got a bunch of Ben Sinnott. I think he's my second most owned tight end behind Oronde Gadsden. So it's terrible for Ben Sinnott, but Chig getting a real opportunity with a real quarterback and David Blau, the offensive coordinator for the Commanders, I think he could. That's a sneaky buy for me. And we talked about Romeo Doubs last week. Everybody knows I think Romeo Doubs is awesome.
Yeah, Big Co, you weren't here last week, right?
No.
You got any thoughts on Chig? Because I'm probably going to be. I still own a decent amount of Chig. I'm probably going to be doubling down on some Chig. Got to be honest.
Got to.
Yeah, I mean, they need playmakers, right? I don't think. I mean, they didn't pay him like a ridiculous amount of money, right? I mean, it seems like
maybe 30 million total. I don't know. Let me look.
It seems like he could be. If the ball's coming his way, like Chev said, we know Chig with the ball in his hand looks good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been a problem for Tennessee. They're waiting. Either it's garbage time and Chig gets a couple catches at the end of the game, it looks good, and you're like, well, that definitely look how good that looked. Next week they're going to come out and start it and do that early. And it never happened. And then and then a lost season becomes a good couple games down the stretch. Casey's arguing with me whether or not we can drop him in FFPC short bench over and over again.
I hate dropping him. It's going to happen.
I know. We dropped him a dozen times in the last 3 years, and every time we drop him, the next week he blows up. And we're like, all right, we pick him up again for 3 weeks and nothing. Right? Yeah. So can he do it? Yes. Right? So Zach Ertz can't play forever. I like Ben Sinnott too. I think the options, I think there's two good options for the team.
They paid him 3 years, $30 million.
3 years, 30.
Yeah. 3 years, 30 was 16 fully guaranteed. So it's not nothing.
It's not nothing. I mean, I think he's cheap enough, but like if you're just looking at the players on the list there, as far as the rankings, I'm going to take the quarterback. I'm taking Mac Jones, probably take a stab on Worthy, see what happens there. Jacoby Myers could be my second flex every week if I needed him to, et cetera, et cetera. I like Josh Dale, I don't think I'm drafting Chig over hardly anybody on that board right there. And I don't mean that as shade on Chig. It just, they have to show a willingness to use a 240-pound tight end. Not every team can do that week in and week out. And, he's going to score fantasy points in bunches if they want him to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think everything that we thought about his athletic profile, everything that we've seen him accomplish in a very limited sample size, I don't think those things are flukes. It's just a matter of him getting reliable targets. Zach Ertz tearing his ACL kind of opens a pathway. I really thought that this was the wheels up for Ben Sinnott, but it seems
still could be.
It could, it could be a boat. But I mean, we follow the money, just like you did with Isaiah Likely. Like we can't We can't just ignore what I mean, it's not nothing. It's not a nothing burger.
Nothing. Yeah.
That they
What's
gave
crazy
him,
is like these receivers out here get 10 million on a throwaway deal and like 10 million for a tight end or a running back. It's like, oh my God, they gave him
exactly.
That's
like,
crazy.
Like, oh man, no,
the Eagles just gave Hollywood Brown 10 million for 1 year.
Right.
Tutu Atwell gets 10 million every time I turn around. What the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, bro. Who does he have?
Whose wife does he have? That's what I'm saying. What the?
I have never seen somebody get more to do less.
Which Tutu Atwell, a Dolphin, you know.
Oh man. Well, so can we go back to that for a second? Who do we think is obviously we think that the alpha is going to come in the 2026 draft. Who is the secondary option in that passing game? If it's not, you can't say Achane.
Right now it's Malik Willis or, you know, maybe Dulcich is there. I mean, which he had an okay end of the season, right? He had a nice little, you know, we all like Dulcich a good bit, and it just hasn't happened, and doesn't mean it won't happen. He had a nice little glow up there, and he's back. But I would assume that it's, you know, I like Malik Washington a lot. I think he's somebody who you get the ball in his hands and kind of see what could happen.
Definitely.
That would be my assumption.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they're taking the wide receiver early. Get that wide receiver now for the rookie quarterback next year, or Willis, right?
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got Jalen Tolbert. I forgot they signed him too.
So basically, they have a bunch of career wide receiver 3s and 4s.
They got Terrace Marshall too. You know who was all right? Didn't have crazy games or anything, but I think he had one Theo Wees Jr. with Burden in Missouri.
Yeah. Missouri.
He's on the roster there. He was a late round pick for them last year. He had a blow up week last year with Ewers. Might have been the last week of the season or something.
Yep. Big former 5-star recruit.
He's got some wheels.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting.
That's a mustache.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to go do some stuff real quick.
I wanted to talk. I know it's been a minute, and it was like the beginning of free agency, but I want to revisit David Montgomery to the Texans, man. I think this is potential like league winnability with Montgomery if they get this offensive line right. Look, they just signed Wyatt Teller today. They signed Braden Smith earlier in free agency, which is, you know, a solid player. They brought Trent Brown back in or in. I don't know. They extended him, I think, maybe, or brought him in or whatever, which is depth. So, I mean, Braden Smith, solid player. Wyatt Teller's been a good player, been a good offensive lineman in the league throughout most of his tenure, right? Looks like Evan Brown as well. And then they've got, you know, some early round picks here that they could, you know, if they shoot on 2 more offensive linemen, like all of a sudden this offensive line could be a solid offensive line and younger and not just awful. They hit on their offensive line pick from last year. So David Montgomery is just somebody who I just think is still really, really cheap. He's kind of a forgotten man. And I feel like the Texans I think we just got a really bad taste in our mouth with Stroud and this offense. I don't know if Caley can call an offense or not. It's TBD, but I think this David Montgomery pickup, I think some of the moves they've made on the offensive line, and then if they could go shoot another shot or two at the offensive line and get one more, you know, cog in the wheel here, I think look out for the Texans, man.
I mean, they got to do something. It can't get worse. They can't keep letting it get worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, massive year incoming for CJ Stroud as far as importance of taking a step.
Analytics has been on fire. He said Tutu beating up McVay's wife's guts.
This dude has been crazy. Analytics has been on one tonight. I don't know what he got going on, but this has been hilarious.
Killer Potato Fish says 3 solid running backs. Fucking Achane's the slot now. Or Wright and Gordon are the running backs.
They're gonna run the wishbone.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receivers gonna be out there in 3-point stances.
Also, them boys, the Texans brought in Reed Blankenship, solid piece in the secondary there.
Man, they're gonna fucking maul people on defense again this year.
That's what I'm saying. That defense is good. They got nothing from that offense last year. I think Montgomery could be good. I think they upgrade this line a little bit. I think you get some confidence with Stroud back. Stroud doesn't need to be a world beater, but I think his value right now is one of the best quarterback buys, Big Co. I think I'll buy CJ. I'll take another shot on that.
Yeah, it's 6th round, right? I mean, definitely got to try CJ Stroud.
Where he is in the crowdsource, and then we can see where he is in the ADP. But yeah, like 6-ish round. Let's see here. Kyler Murray, 85. Let's just search. Ooh, wrong one.
CJ
53.
Stroud,
So QB 17 overall here.
We're in the right spot now, man.
5th right there.
We're in the right spot now. We're drafting him at his floor, and he can get to his ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We had QB 9, 17, and then we had 21 this season, and just a massive drop in points from 281 to 228 to 208. You know who that 281 was? Bobby Slowick. Come on down. Threw for 4,000 yards. 5 picks, 20, and that was only with 23 touchdowns. Like Stroud should be a 30 touchdown, a 4,030 kind of guy, especially with, I think what they have him surrounded with should be good if this line can withhold, right?
What if that's a sneaky spot for Eli Stowers? We
turn
those Dalton Schultz targets into Eli Stowers targets.
They gave him a little more money.
They did.
Trying to see what this ADP is on Stroud real quick. Quarterbacks. Yeah, I mean 608 right now.
Yeah. Yeah, 6th round Stroud and 6th round Goff. I mean, obviously Goff is much more proven than Stroud, but not as fun long-term sounding. I'd have to take Goff first for everything. We said that about a month ago. The three of us in the mock streets were talking about 6th round Goff was ridiculous, but okay, he did go 6'3" in that, and what you're showing right there, Casey. The rankings show Goff at 6'3", Stroud at 6'8" in a startup right now, approximately. I mean, yeah, a 6th round quarterback in a startup.
Yeah,
and his name is CJ Stroud. Sure.
Yeah, and this function here is about to be available to the public here. We're just fine tuning a few things as well as the rookie version of this. Nico top 5 if the line improves. He certainly it's in the range of outcomes for sure. Randall said Mike Washington might be on some ETN shit. Tape is legit. I just been watching some Mike Washington. I've been getting more and more involved with some love affair with Mike Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I've been liking it. Watch some New Mexico State. Obviously, just a god awful team. But him and McGowan over there, and then in Arkansas, golly, man, he is the first thing I really noticed about him is obviously that speed and burst pops off the page, but he is so like his lean of just because he's so fast and quick of like kind of getting that, like him setting up blocks and kind of leaning one way and getting defenders to flow that way, and then just a quick shift back and gone. Like he and plenty of power there with him. So I'm into the Mike Washington.
I told you, dude. It is. I didn't want to be in just because I'm contractually obligated to hate the University of Arkansas for reasons, but he's undeniable. Like I started as a hate watcher and then just slowly became a fan.
Yeah, Zach asks if it's too early to take ETN at 602 in a superflex startup. This ADP is, it's starting to be built in, and you can see some after post free agency. Some of this is pre-free agency, maybe bringing a little bit of this down, so it's not all completely updated, but it's about to roll into more of a free agency update. So we're at 607 and 706. We can go back to the crowdsource rankings there. It might be a little early for ETN right there in the 6th round. I mean, I don't know what running backs are left and what your build's looking like. And this is Superflex tight end premium that we're talking. So I don't know what that setting is for you, but ETN's certainly been on the rise in the crowdsource. Let's see where he is here.
79.
79.
You had him on the screen and it jumped back down.
There it is. RB 19, so 79.
Darnold, quarterback's ahead of him.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Darnold or ETN for 2026?
Probably. I mean, it just depends on what my quarterback situation is, but ETN for the most part.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, let's say Darnold's your QB2.
Then you got to have Darnold. You got to have if Darnold's your QB3, I could play around. You can't not have a second quarterback, dude. You got to have a quarterback.
Well, I'm not saying trade them straight up for each other, but which one do you think scores more points?
I mean, most likely Sam Darnold scores more points just because he's a quarterback. But I mean, if ETN outscores Sam Darnold and they both stay healthy, then ETN has a really good year.
We like ETN's situation. So he outscored him last year
by a couple points. Yeah. Solid. ETN's crushing.
Do we like the situation for ETN? Everybody's in on ETN this year, or is this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah.
What is there to not be in on?
I'm just asking. I'm here to ask questions, and
that's why I asked the question, because I feel like it's you very well quarterback scarcity. You obviously want to roll with the safety of having a quarterback in your QB2 superflex spot, but it's a really bullish outcome if Travis Etienne scores more points this particular year, and you could probably package him with something else to go get if he performs like he did last year, and I think he's going to exceed that. If we get this Alvin Kamara thing figured out, you could package him up and go get you a cheap quarterback and something else coming back with it. Would you rather have CJ Stroud or ETN in 2026?
I think I think Stroud is just a better asset long
term, but sure, I'm just saying
just for 1 year.
Points in lineup.
For the same logic, if you already have running backs and I don't have to have ETN in my second, Casey just showed us that ETN outscored Sam Darnold this year. By the same logic, I could assume I could flip a coin on ETN outscoring CJ Stroud this year. I really can see that, Chev. I would also like to throw out the Super Bowl champion narrative that maybe Sam Darnold walks into next year a little bit more confident and a little bit more, I can air it out now. I got a Super Bowl and nothing matters. So maybe Sam Darnold has a little stat, increase.
Also lost Kubiak.
Right. And of course, hard to leave.
Sell Sam.
Hard to leave Jacksonville's running back situation and then go over here to Kellen Moore and they'd be like, all right, I don't think he got in a worse situation. Like to leave Liam Cohen's running back lore,
sure,
and go over here to Kellen Moore is like, all right, well, that's fine. And it's not like he left, and then went to a team where you're like, all right, this team has no future. Then you go to the Jets, right? Just go anytime I need to talk shit about a team. I'm going to the Jets. I think last couple weeks ago when I got on it, I think I got on a rant and I think I said Ryan Fitzpatrick was the best Jets quarterback play I've seen in my life. And I think I was, after I had some time to think about that in the shower, I'm like, wait a minute.
Shower thoughts.
I think Vinny Testaverde might have come out there and gave me a couple passing yards one day, and I was like, oh, look, a quarterback wearing the Jets helmet can throw the ball.
Yeah.
It's been so bad.
Before we wrap it up tonight, there's another cool feature on the website. I know we're late in the game here, but the trade database is growing, so we appreciate you guys for coming in here and adding to it, because this is all just you guys coming in here and adding your leagues in, which pretty soon this is going to turn into my portfolio, which is going to be a way more expansive collection of things in your where the my leagues is here. This will just go to a portfolio thing, and there's going to be a whole bunch of more cool tools in there. But now in the trade database, just like kind of swiping, we can come in here and we can bring up your trades or whatever. And Sleeper, I don't know if I can specifically find your trade. I think I could search for a specific trade potentially, or at least I could search the players. And there is a search bar issue right now that we are fixing. But you can vote on the trade. So like side one is Juwan Johnson. We got 14 team, full point PPR, tight end premium, 26 first, 27 second, Juwan Johnson, or Ladd McConkey, Gunnar Helm, and a 5th and a 4th. So you can it seems like Ladd is, obviously we don't know what that pick is because for whatever reason that league hasn't maybe rolled over. But in general, like we can come, here's Tyler Algier and Marvin Harrison for a 26 first, and this is a 10-teamer super flex, half point PPR, 2 firsts, a 28 and a 26 first for Algier and Marv.
Yeah, give me Algier and Marv.
So that's that simple. You come in here, you click on it, you can do an even other side or not. So this is, was a little bit for us, but also for you guys to come through here and pick on some trades. So Travis Hunter or 27 first, that's easy. 26 first, 26 first.
Yep.
The original Travis Hunter haters. All right, Nico Collins or Jonathan Taylor. JT, are you with me? See, that one was 4 votes. We just evened it up to 50-50 on that one. Anyhow, new feature over there where you can vote on trades. We're adding stuff to this website every day. And again, if you see any issues with the website, please hit us up, man. That's what we need, people telling us, hey, this doesn't work, or this is weird, or that, or this. We've already had a couple of people, and we very much appreciate it. Don't hesitate. We're not going to be upset about it. That's what we need. This thing's basically still in its infancy stages. We're figuring it out on the daily. So anything else y'all boys want to talk about before we get off of this live stream?
No,
enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was, I feel like we really cooked tonight.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate anybody who threw some cash our way for some answers. Always appreciated. Makes you feel wanted and loved. All you guys out here who come in here every week, it's not lost on us that you spend some time with us and hang out. And we try to answer, as many questions as possible through here. So appreciate it. Ranalytics wanted to get one more dong Cheadle in there.
I appreciate this
as we sign off.
Yeah.
Anyway, next week we will have, I believe, Theo Greminger on the stream with us hanging out. So we're going to start bringing maybe some guests on these streams to sit, kick it, and hang out with us. So until next week, Casey, Chev, Big Co. Maybe never mind. We'll catch you next week.
No.